Alright, let's get started. Let's make some chicken. Everyone ready? Let's go. So first, we're going to take some firm tofu. I don't recommend using soft. That's more for dishes where you're using a spoon to eat everything. Here you're going to be using a fork. So let's put some firm tofu in, and we're going to dice them, or chop them I guess, into nice even little cubes. Alright, so look at that. We're going to make them pretty bite-sized and pretty easy to eat. Next, we have some pre-peeled, pre-cleaned onions. We're going to slice them really quickly. We're only going to use half an onion here. Because, well, this one is a little big, so I'm using only half of it. But if you're using smaller onions, of course, use the full onion. Look at those knife skills, yo. Slice. Perfect. Okay, make sure our cutting board is nice and organized so we have space for the chicken. I'm using here chicken leg quarters, just the thigh and the leg connected to each other. You can separate it at like a little tendon. Once you get used to cutting up chicken, it'll be easier. I'm a professional, so it's pretty nice and simple for me. And we're going to cut the thighs in half because they're a little big. And I'm using about 4 leg quarters here. And we're going to pat them dry, remove all the excess liquid, all the excess blood. We don't want everything to be steaming in the pan. We want it to be frying well. So we're going to put everything in a nice big pot with some oil on high heat. We're going to try to brown it for about 5 or so minutes. Okay, make sure that you're not crowding the pan. We want to toss everything around, get some nice golden brown color on it. If you have to do this in batches, you can. Okay. There we go. So, let's add some onions in, and we're going to stir everything together and cook it until the onions are nice and translucent and the chicken gets a little more color on it. And it's a little more cooked through. So this is going to be another 5 or 7 minutes. But it totally depends on your pot and like how high you're cooking. Next, we're going to add some chopped up garlic. I'm using pre-chopped up, but if you're doing it, it's probably about 3 or 4 cloves. And definitely you can adjust the garlic however much you want. Usually I'd use anywhere up to from 8 to 10 cloves. But that's just me. I love garlic. We're going to continue to stir it. Everything is nice and brown, beautiful color. And like I said, I love garlic, so I'm going to throw a bit extra in there. And we're going to stir everything up. Let all the garlic, onion, chicken flavor infuse nice and beautiful together. Look at that color. Look at that freaking nice color. And alright, now it's time to add our tomatoes. You can use canned whole tomatoes, canned diced tomatoes, you can use fresh tomatoes, just chop them up. As you can see, my can opener is pretty shite, and I'm going to have to jerry-rig this thing open. I totally recommend you don't do this. The first time I did it, I sliced my thumb pretty good, but I didn't feel like running out to get another can opener, and this was the only one near me, so I just used this. And my goal here, honestly, just get it open enough so that the tomatoes can come out. Hey, Jesus. Alright, so we got it a little bit open. They're whole tomatoes, so we need the gap to be pretty wide. Next, I'm going to pour the tomatoes into the pot directly. Obviously, when you do it, it'll be easier because your can will be nice and open, but for me, I had to get a little creative here. Enter the fork. Just gonna have to kind of shred it through the can, through that little gap. Remember, they're whole tomatoes, so they're not coming through without a fight. Ew. Isn't that beautiful? Come on, you're almost there, Yep, there we go. We got one out. Good. And we get, oh, coming out, something else. This isn't working too well. Well, we finally got everything out. It looks like a mess, but it doesn't matter. It'll all disintegrate and look weird later on. So, next we're going to add our Sazon Goya. This is the main seasoning that we're going to use. It contains all the salt you need, all the flavors and seasonings you need. Of course, you can add more stuff to it if you want, but I prefer to cook pretty simply, so this is all I'm going to use. A whole packet of it, and next we're going to add about a cup or so of water, enough to cover the chicken, just barely cover it. And then we're going to cover with a lid before that actually, we're going to put my secret ingredient, dashima, or aka kelp, or aka seaweed. So this is the dried stuff, of course. About a handful of it. It adds a nice umami and a nice depth to my dishes, so I like to add it. And it's also pretty fun to eat. And we're going to cover everything up for about the next 30 or so minutes. Here's my knife that's got damage cutting up chicken bones and opening the can. Okay, alright. 30 minutes later, the water has come down. We're going to add our tofu to it. And then we're going to mix everything up. Add some more water and let this cook for about 10 or so more minutes. And of course, don't forget that you have to have your fresh white rice on the side. There you go. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time. Bye-bye.